What's up, buddy?
Hey man, not much. How you been doing?
I was good until about last week when you reminded me that I had to watch this movie.
Well, I can't have you being too happy in your life, you know?
So, here's the thing that I'll just go ahead and throw out about this movie. You're right. It wasn't as bad as what was the last one, Afterlife.
I think so, yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Afterlife, but boy, is it still bad.
Oh, most definitely.
But before we get into it, what'd you do over the weekend?
Uh, Actually, not much. It's just kind of, well, during the weekend, I just kind of worked.
Yeah.
I don't really get much options weekend-wise.
Yeah, so we had a surprise kid-free weekend thrown on us. Like we thought we were gonna have the kids last weekend, but then we were informed that it was not our weekend. So yeah, we literally just stayed at home and we played video games the entire. It was great. It was honestly fantastic.
Sounds like
I
a
didn't have
much
any
deserved rest.
show. So what now?
It sounds like a much deserved rest.
It was very nice. So before we as we get into this movie, I want to know like your surface level thoughts.
Well, we usually leave them to the end, but I do have my little, what's it called? Uh, Closing
Notes?
thoughts.
What? No,
I put down
I don't want.
what?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I put down a little better than the last movie, but overall just a slog to get through.
Yeah. So my my thoughts on the movie were the premise was just absolutely ridiculous. Like the idea that Umbrella has the insane simulators that they're running underground, like the insane simulators underground. First off, why? Because
Yeah,
I mean, like it would be one thing to have these simulators like when there was still a planet of people above ground, but you can just do these tests above ground now. You don't need to simulate things. You have real life test subjects. Uh,
more
Second,
than that, at
we
that
don't.
point, you already know like this thing is like highly like infectious and destroys everything. It's like, what test do you need to keep on running?
Also, the what? How are they running this? Like, what? There's no power grid anymore.
Oh, Umbrella just has their own generators. Don't ask Cal.
I mean, they're generate like that generator to run these kinds of simulations would be astronomical.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't you know? Like there's like
another.
also like the biggest like buyer of nuclear energy, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Uh, but like that being said, there are a lot of elements from the past movies that actually made more sense in this movie because uh, I was talking about this in Afterlife. Like the executioner did not make sense in that city, but it's a
Oh,
simulation, so who cares? We put two of them.
yeah, they're best friends.
Uh,
Like they go out for drinks after every shift.
Now, and like as long as like we're going on about like things that I actually did enjoy about the movie, I think that some of the casting was actually really well done. I thought that some were not as great, but I thought a lot of them were good. I thought Jill's casting was good.
Yeah,
Barry had good casting, like we kind of talked about that. Ada was, that was okay.
Ada looked like
Um,
Ada.
yeah, but then we've got Leon,
Oh
and
god, poor Leon.
they just can't get Leon right in movies because I honestly cannot tell you off the top of my head. I don't know if he's in the final movie. Um, I really don't. But I do know that the next time that we'll see Leon in a live action feature is in Welcome to Raccoon City, and they did even worse with Leon in that movie. I can't wait for you to watch that movie. And
I can.
honestly, I've been
I can
thinking,
wait. I can wait
I've
a
been think,
lifetime.
speaking of going forward with this, I kind of think that we should do the Resident Evil Netflix series in parts because I don't think that it would be good for either one of us to cover like 8 hours of content in one episode.
Yeah, I feel like that's something like we need to talk when we get there. I say like 2 or 3 episodes, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, like a lot of the casting is well done here. I still think that Wesker's horrible. Um, and the the overall idea of the movie, I didn't hate it as much as I did because the first time I saw the movie, I was like, this is the equivalent of an anime filler plot.
I mean, it basically
Because
is.
because really, when you really think about it, they make no progress. And from what I remember, I found like the coolest shot of this movie is the very last shot where like they're on top of the White House and you see the thousands of zombies and BOWs. Like that was cool.
You
That
really,
was
hilariously enough, I thought it looked pretty damn dumb.
well, like in the grand scheme of the rest of the movie, like I was like, this is effective. Like I like this. But then I'm like 99% sure you see none of that in the next movie. It's just like every other Resident Evil movie where you end on some big cliffhanger and then you don't get that resolved. I think like this is like one of the rare occasions where you do get a resolution because like the end of Afterlife and the beginning of what the hell is this movie? Retribution. Like I mean these movies start like right back to back with each other. Uh and we kind of talked about how dumb that opening scene was.
Yeah, like I mentioned personally, like the way it started in reverse, at least was visually interesting,
Yeah, see,
and
and
then they fucked it
I
up.
yeah, like I agree. I don't really care which way they showed it. We only needed that scene once. Uh,
Yeah, because honestly, it was so badly shot that when it started moving like normally, and it just kind of lost any impact whatsoever.
yeah, and I mean it's again the the one thing that we talked like I made so much fun of Alice with her nickel shotgun that she's got
Nickel
and
and dime.
like that. Yeah, and the fact that the filmmaker really thinks that we're stupid enough to believe that a sawed off shotgun can shoot 500 feet into the air and like land into a cockpit and do what it did to that pilot.
Let's face it, and it's supposed. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be like reinforced glass too, like not even
Yeah,
like
it
normal
is.
glass.
I mean, you gotta assume that Umbrella has military grade glass in there, and I mean these are VTOLs. These are military vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just absolute like there are just so many moments where the movie just they think you're dumb. They insult your intelligence, and that was the first time that I saw it. And then we get the same stupid intro that we get in every one of these movies. We're like, "Hi, I'm Alice. I work for Umbrella." No, no, we don't care at this point.
Oh
It's the
yeah,
same thing. Like
I
at
wrote
this
one
point,
small thing about that
what's up?
because Alice was like, "I am the leader of humanity." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not a leader. You're like a solo fighter that kind of shows up every so often. It's like, hi, people, and then leaves."
Not only does she show up and say hi people and leaves, after she shows up and says hi people, before she leaves, everybody usually dies.
Yeah.
Uh, but and the intro, like after we get like this long introductory sequence that was like 95% useless to me. Um, we get the scene where she's in the sim, like you see the cloned Alice in the simulation, and there's that guy from the first movie,
Yeah.
and the daughter. Like this sequence I actually really liked because it's
It
the one
was well played.
it yeah, it's one of the one parts of the movie where the zombies are actually a threat. because they never are anywhere else. Because I mean, in the rest of the movie, you just have a bunch of like military trained people. You have Alice, who's the equivalent of a god,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's just not like the zombies are never actually a threat anywhere else, but they are here. And like the entire sequence from start to finish, I really enjoyed it. Even Michelle Rodriguez's character coming back as like a normal civilian, like everything about it was great. I loved all of it. Uh, and then we get back to normal Alice, and that's where the movie goes downhill. Uh,
Just some thoughts
I,
about like that one scene. I was like, well, I saw it like after I watched too much Fast and the Furious, and I was like, yeah, Letty, keep your eyes on the road.
dude,
But
I had the same thought actually because I had this one. As I was watching the movie, I remember that one interview that Michelle Rodriguez did where she criticized the Marvel movies. And she was like, "Oh man, I'm tired of these movies. Just keep making sequels." I was like, "Man, you have been in two franchises."
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that is true.
she's been in Fast and Furious, and this is like what her third Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
But the and while we're talking about the things that just didn't work for me, the the fact that Alice find like when the real Alice goes into the simulation and finds this kid who like we straight up set up is not real. Like this is not a real child. This is just a clone.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. I mean, I guess you could argue that Alice is. Are we dealing with a clone Alice or is this still the original Alice?
Pretty sure that's the original Alice.
But like, I mean, she didn't get attached to her other clones in Resident Evil 4. So like her being attached to this like being attached to this clone child and putting the entire team at risk, like later on in the movie, it's like I'm going for it. I'm like, why? I mean, that is not a real child. Uh,
She was dreaming of being a mom.
yeah, but no. Uh,
Oh,
I'm
by the
trying to
way,
think of like,
coming back to where we were in the movie, uh, you know when they're chasing like clone Alice and the kid like into the house and they go up the stairs?
yeah.
Really random thing I noticed, but I love that the zombies actually use no safety and they use the handrails.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you got to be safe. Even just because you're undead doesn't mean you can get more undead.
OSHA compliance.
That's
The
right. It's
reunion.
all safety.
They're on the zombie union.
Now I'm gonna go back and watch it just so I can see what you're talking about because I
You'll
didn't
see.
notice that, but I love that you did.
Oh, I try to pay attention just to at least have like random like stuff to pop in. Like yeah, I noticed this random shit, and then make you laugh and be like, really, seriously?
The I think another thing excuse me the other thing that like I was really like I liked the idea. I did not like the idea of Wesker helping Alice. That didn't really make any sense to me. Um, I like I liked all of it. Ada, like we talked about this earlier, I really enjoyed Ada and her performance. Uh, I
Yeah.
think that she looked great. She did the part well, and they recreated the fight scene from RE4. I really liked that. Um, but the whole like the premise of it, I don't like. But the team going in and having Leon and Barry and Luther for some reason, like like all those people going down in there, like I kind of like that. But then we get down there and they sent
I lost it.
when the Red Queen
Let's
and
see if he comes
Alliance like
back
sent
and
in the
then send
Las
him out.
Plagas,
Oh,
like I would have
there
it
you
would
are.
have
Kind
been
of lost you for a
so
second.
okay. Just give me a minute. I'm in a little bit of a dead zone, so we're just gonna hang out in here for a little bit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine when you came back. It was just kind of like you started like glitching up and then you disappeared from the call.
Okay. So when we get into that like European town and they send in the quote unquote Los Plagas, I would have much preferred them to be the actual Las Plagas from Resident Evil 4 and have been, villagers with pitchforks and sickles and blades. Uh, but
Rather
it
than
just looked like
the
they said.
rather than the Soviet Union army.
I mean, it literally just looked like they sent Nazis after them. Is what it looked like. Literally, when they started to come out of the fog, it's like these just look like Nazis.
I'm pretty sure they were like trying to like I'm not gonna say pay homage, but like trying to rip off like Nazi zombies from Call of Duty.
But I mean, even Nazi zombies in Call of Duty, they're zombies. They don't shoot guns.
Oh, I know, but still, you know how people are.
And I mean, honestly, like like it would have been so much more effective if they were actual Las Plagas and like were did the mob mentality and they had to figure that out instead of just a stereotypical gunfight. I did, but on the same side of the coin, I did like that Big Liquor was back.
Yeah. By the way, if we can go back just a little bit, just to like a little bit earlier point in the movie, like where Alice wakes up in like the middle of like the umbrella room.
Yeah.
I love that they took the time to put her right in the middle of it.
Well, yeah, aesthetics.
Yeah, and also like when they finally like leave her, like let her out, and like they actually had clothes for her in there and everything. I was
I was
just
just
really
being
wanted to
nice.
point out whoever shows that really likes belts, really likes belts.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Probably like
you
Kingdom Hearts fan.
got, yeah. I mean, you gotta have a bunch of nice places to keep your guns and your knives.
I mean, if you notice, it's not a place to put your knife. There's no place to put your knife. She actually has to put them inside her boot.
Oh, yep, you're right about that. I forgot about that one. Uh, I'm trying to. Where do I want to go next with this Scatterbrain movie? Uh, I like,
Yeah, then they
I
go to
like.
like the whole like the shit turns off. Alice tries to escape, and it goes to like the laser grid.
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't know why, but I hate the effect of laser grid in this movie.
yeah. It like it just feels like this movie was trying to recapture what worked. And I mean, you kind of see that because the OG squad from the first movies here, they have a lot of the elements from the first movie, but it did
Just
not work here for me. Like it, I mean, don't get me wrong. The simulation gave them a lot of leniency, so they could really do whatever they wanted. Uh, but again, the story kind of doesn't go anywhere. Like at the end of four, you get to the boat, which is the quote unquote safe haven, and
Yeah,
then at the end of the movie, they're just not in a safe haven anymore. They're just on the top of the White House. And spoiler alert, you don't see that resolution.
yeah, kind of noticeable. Also,
Like,
just a little bit like afterwards, like when Ada like finally meets up with dude, she's so forgettable. I forget her name, Alice.
yeah,
And like and Ada's like explaining everything, and Alice is like, why would they build this? And I'm like, it's Umbrella. Like at this point, why are you questioning anything they do?
yeah. Why did they make these horrible viruses?
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's Umbrella. I mean, you've worked for them. You know the whole story. Like at this point, why are you questioning it?
Exactly. It's honestly there's not a whole lot in this movie that makes any kind of sense. And then it feels like even the filmmakers know that it wasn't working at this point because, and I mean, we're gonna talk about this more in the next chapter. It feels like they just skipped a movie because they're like, let's just close this franchise out.
Let's just get this over with. Oh yeah. Then moving on, like that's when they show like the extraction team they sent, which was like Leon, Barry, the guy from the last movie who Alice had a crush on.
Luther.
Yeah, that guy. And I just remember like when they're like taking apart like the scene to get into the elevator. I was just wondering, what's Umbrella put their logo and everything? Like even stuff like that nobody would like realistically see.
Advertising.
Doom! They're all dead.
Yeah, but there might not be one day.
And then when they
Boy,
go,
howdy, when they get that cure off the ground, they're gonna have them everywhere.
God. And then like after going down the elevator, and they're like, oh, like the squad is set up, and like and like they send out the little machine. I just thought like they sent the bullet Roomba to like get everything done.
Yeah. How did you feel about Barry's death?
I feel he was so wasted
Exactly.
because like I mean it's in several things. Like I haven't gone through much of the original RE1, but I've gone through Revelations too, and I actually really like Barry in that game.
Yeah.
And like they wasted like what first like he has no dad puns. That was the best
Yep.
part of Barry in that game. And even RE1, like I still remember Jill's sandwich. Like that's a classic.
My thing with Barry in this movie is he should like. Don't get me wrong. If this was a movie in a different timeline, like this would be a fantastic young Barry. But he should be older to like. Barry should be older in this universe.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, like at the first, like they didn't show his Magnum. I was like, they didn't give him his Magnum. That really sucks. And then like they gave him the Magnum, and I just felt like it had no weight to it.
well, yeah, and then like the whole thing where he goes down on the ground and then he picks up the gun as it's falling down and kills the guy. I'm like, come on.
Like even if like fine, do that, but like at least like have the gun like make him fly out. Like it just kind of felt like a regular
Yeah.
pistol at that like during the whole time like he used it.
I mean, like the Magnum in Resident Evil is like one of the best weapons in every game. Like when you shoot something with that Magnum, it explodes.
Oh yeah.
It just felt like a basic pistol.
Like at least like I don't know, make Barry fly backwards a little bit every time he fires it. I don't know, do something to give it weight.
So, real quick, can you pull up? Do you still have the spreadsheet that I sent you?
Which one?
The Resident Evil one. If you don't, I've got it here.
For the movies?
Yeah.
Oh damn it, I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Here, hold on one second.
We need to pin that down as like one of those pin messages.
I think I've got it right here. Okay, so yeah, the we actually won't. Unfortunately, we've got a CGI movie after this, so we won't get the resolution next time. I know you're so disappointed.
Oh
Uh,
god, so sad. I'm pained inside.
but yeah, like this is actually. I'm also gonna need you to see if you can find the ranking list because I actually don't have that one here.
Uh,
But we can keep talking until we get to that point. But yeah, I mean, there's so much about this movie that I did not like, and it doesn't make sense. The all of the Jill stuff, like other than her casting, I think she was such a wasted character.
oh, she was
It
so
was this,
boring.
yeah. Like I mean, the biggest fun thing about RE5 is like having that mystery character, and then you get the reveal that it's Jill, and you have a good reason of why it's Jill. Um,
I mean,
and then here,
to be fair, like we're not even like halfway through like my list of stuff I wrote down, just to like give you an idea.
yeah, all right, you start going down your list.
Okay. Oh yeah. When they were fighting the axe dudes, I was like, yeah, they sell like they do like the obvious like 3D axe throw, so you can sell a 3D movie.
Yep, yep.
Then I also wrote down like that whole action scene just felt so slow and clunky. Like there was like no feeling whatsoever.
Also, while we're on that action scene, how about the fact that the gas is like 3 miles away, and then in a second it's under the feet of the executioners?
I
And
wouldn't even do
also,
that. There's like I feel like they were walking away faster than they were like than the gas was spreading.
well, yeah, that's kind of what I mean. And
Yeah.
also, from experience, I can tell you that that would not kill them.
Oh yeah.
Not only would it not have killed them, their bodies would still be there. And then, like, just one car that exploded, they're like, "Oh, the bodies are gone."
Yeah. And then we move into like where you said like when they find the little girl and everything. And I was,
Yeah,
and my thought was like, remember how like they go up to the room and they actually find the zombie and everything?
yeah,
Yeah. Why was the door where the little girl was not broken? Because like if you're like if I remember right, looking at that scene when the mom goes in to like get rid of the other zombie, uh, yeah, she breaks that door,
also, while we're talking about that, how did the zombie get in there without breaking the door or getting blood on the door?
or just in general, was staying quiet inside that door.
Yeah, I mean, like, how did the zombies don't take naps?
Yeah, yeah. And then when Alice finally got to like the kid and like they're like having an emotional moment, I was like, oh no, Alice has to have an emotional moment. She can't do those.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich in general just cannot have emotional moments in these movies. Like, I just don't believe her.
She just kind of looks dumbly into the camera. That's everything I see.
Yep, exactly. Uh, okay, so yeah, keep going.
Then I wrote down like RE1 movie reunion since like they had like the whole cast again.
Yep.
That didn't show up, and then like we're going back to the strike team like fighting the plagas, and it was like at point blank range. Why does like nobody aim for the head?
Not a thing. They all do body shots.
Yeah, like even like I can understand like at distance like basic military protocol aim for the body, but they're point blank. Like you
Yes.
have time to like lift your gun like a half a centimeter up and aim for the head, you know,
And then they don't.
and then they don't. Um, yeah, and then the giant liquor shows up, and I just wrote down no one aims for its big ass head, like not anybody,
Yeah, the most obvious spot to shoot at.
and no like just to like be even crueler about this, it's the only point that like doesn't look black,
Yep.
like
Literally a sore thumb.
yeah. Okay. Then I put down that the Red Queen feels so boring compared to like the first movie.
Oh yeah, the Red Queen in the first movie, she was a menace,
Yeah,
like an actual character.
yeah, and then I put down like not. I mean, I know you can't do much with like that boring monotone voice, but it's so bad.
I mean, like in the first movie, like again, it just feels like they were just trying to take everything from the first movie that worked and put it back in here. And the Red Queen could have been like the best part of this movie, but she's just a wasted character.
Oh, completely. And then like they all finally meet up and they go back. And well, that's what I put like the wasted Barry because like he got hit, and I honestly thought he was dead with that hit from the liquor since like they killed
Yeah,
off Michelle Rodriguez partner buddy like
yeah.
right away. Um, and then like I thought like that I like as I watched the movie I was like, you know what? I feel that Leon has the voice down, but just the look just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think the hair was too long.
I think so. I don't know. It just feels like the facial features just didn't match like Leon, you know.
Yeah.
Let's face it, like there's a reason everybody calls him Pretty Boy, like in the games.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be a pretty boy.
Yeah. And then I put down like, oh yeah, like the love interest. I think you said loser. Um,
Luther, yeah.
yeah. When he's like, when she's like, oh, I'm going, and he's like, oh, I'm going with you. Immediately gets knocked down.
Oh my god, dude, it is so fun. That made me laugh out loud.
Yeah. It was so
Uh,
stupid, but it just kind of happened.
he's like, I'm going with you. Bam.
No time whatsoever, like in between. Then I put down like I don't feel like the liquor should have been following orders. Like it does not look it like I like as for like all the enemies we've seen, like it's the one that looks like it was just kind of like a beast you let roam like every so often. Like you don't control it, you know?
Do they control it in the first movie?
No,
Okay, I didn't think so. But I remember they gave Nemesis orders, but not the liquor.
yeah, but the liquor was just like Nemesis was kind of like a human being, like
Yeah.
twisted on stuff, but like this is just kind of like a zombie that just mutated. Um, Then I put down like Alice only acts wounded with no enemies around to actually put her in danger.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the I was talking about this phenomenon in games, but it drives me crazy in games when like a character, and I mean in this movie, when a character gets critically injured and they just kind of walk it off for a few minutes and they're like, "All right, I'm good now."
Yeah. Because then like she does like the whole like going out to like the liquor nest and she just kind of like goes goes up with like the hook gun that Ada gave her and she does a backflip over it while shooting the liquor. And may I note in the head, and it goes down in 3 shots where like everybody wasted like whole magazines of ammo shooting the body.
Well, it just goes to show how effective headshots work.
Yeah, maybe the obvious weak point is an obvious weak point.
No, that can't be it.
Then just like the whole scene with like Barry sacrificing himself and with that weak ass Magnum, which is kind of shit.
God, yeah, that made me so mad.
Yeah, and then like well, Alice finds the cloning facility, and all I saw was like that feels like very inefficient way to carry like the clones, like with the whole thing in the back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like the leverage on the spine is not good, considering like how much they're moving them. And then Alice luckily finds a vent that just happens to be right next to where the elevator stopped.
Oh yeah, because logic.
Yeah, and then Jill Boob Window Valentine shows up again, and like all the dialogue is so boring.
Yeah, this is the part where like she just conveniently snaps to it, and just long enough for Alice to rip the thing off her chest, right?
No, first like we had the Ice Axe like two 3D axe moments to like sell the 3D movie. We have like this 3D Mortal Kombat X-ray X-ray moments. I
Yeah,
mean,
as you need to have.
yeah. Then like the snow car machine, like the snow car like starts like when she's Jill starts like pushing like Alice's head against it, and all I saw was like, why did it start up? Like it flipped over, like it wasn't running anymore. Like why the fuck did it start up again?
Motors sometimes start up when they go off.
And yeah, and then and then Alice takes the spider thing out. It's like no issues. It just kind of pops off.
Yeah, in the games, it is a struggle to get that thing off of her.
Not only that, it left no scarring whatsoever.
Well, yeah, that's why it was so easy. They wanted to make sure that she could, not have visible scars.
Yeah, it was just so stupid. And then like they show off the like Michelle Rodriguez Plagas, and it was just kind of like, oh yeah, they made her superhuman. No negative side effects whatsoever.
Well, again, simulation.
They were all cop. They were like in the real world.
Simulation.
Oh god. And yeah, and then they had like the underwater ballet moment.
The what moment?
Underwater ballet.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's stupid. Oh my
I
god.
I honestly wanted to put like the classical music like right at that point. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel it would have been hilarious.
Just, just like let's really sell it to the audience.
Yeah. And then like Leon is like with Ada and like he's moving his broken arm quite well to like save her, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you plot armor.
And then like Alice wakes up somewhere unfamiliar. She needs help.
God,
Take a shot every time Alice wakes up somewhere unfamiliar.
dude, it's ridiculous. You almost get it once a movie, sometimes twice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you get it once a movie at least.
Yeah, every movie actually.
Yeah.
Well,
And then like
I don't think you get it in the last movie because the usually it's at the beginning of the movie it starts, but the last movie starts with the assault sequence.
I really hate to say this, but I guess we'll see.
um,
Yeah, and then like they're getting into the shopper, And yeah, Jill, like free from the mind control and in sub-zero temperatures, still won't close the zipper of her shirt.
Well, yeah, sex sells.
Yeah. And then Leon gets handsy with Ada, and I kind of feel like it should have been the other way around.
Well, I mean, Ada kisses him, right? And Resident Evil 2, it's not the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Ada was always the handsy one. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely agree with that one.
yeah. And then like they go into the White House and they find Wesker. Well, Alice finds Wesker, and then like Wesker gives her what he took away because basically Wesker gives and gives and Wesker takes. Just he just chooses.
It's like the Bible says, Wesker giveth and Wesker taketh away.
Oh yeah. And then
Um,
like when they walk off and like, oh yeah, this is all that's left, and we're the last five heroes. And I was like, is this how like humanity's the last five heroes? We're doomed.
and honestly, like, if we're gonna have all these ridiculous fight sequences where they take out literally everything, the final chapter could have been the chance for them to really go all in on it, give all of them superhero powers, and have them have this insane war sequence where they're going up against all these zombies and like it. If they're going fast and furious, ridiculous with it, this was their chance to really go all in. But they squandered it.
Yeah. And then my final thought was like the flying things for like more like mutalisks from StarCraft and Umbrella bioweapons.
Well, I mean, those were the. I think they were going for the ones from Resident. Those thing that thing from Resident Evil 5.
I mean, I guess, but they still look lower like mutalisks to me.
That's fair. Um,
And that's the end of the
did
movie.
you
We went through everything.
did you happen to find the ranking that we have?
I have mine because I've been keeping one up like for myself.
Well, I mean, that's the ranking that we've been using, so we'll use that. Uh, for the people, can you read the ranking, please, as it stands?
Uh, at least for mine, because I know you have like one or two like in different positions. I have one Resident Evil Generation. Currently, the one and only 3D movie we've seen, I think, at this point.
Yep.
CGI movie. The second we have
Well,
Apocalypse, because honestly, we just had fun with that movie.
yep.
Then I have Executed 4D because at least it was short.
Yes, it was.
Then we have the regular Resident Evil movie, which is kind of decent, but it just kind of like has some parts that just feel bland.
Okay.
Then we have this one, Retribution, number 5. Then we have Afterlife, which was just kind of one for not being as stupid as Extinction, and obviously last and least Extinction, right? Currently.
I honestly think. Okay, so for a minute in my head, I was confused about the movie titles, and I thought that you had put uh, Afterlife as the number one movie, and I was like, I mean, the number one like live action movie. And I was in my head, I was like, I'm about to argue this.
Well, you can argue
Uh,
all you want because that is not true.
uh, I think that this movie should go above Afterlife. Is that where you have it?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I think that's a great place for it to be. That's exactly where I put it because it is still a bad movie, but it was definitely better than Afterlife.
oh yeah, most definitely.
Uh, but yeah, so next week is Damnation.
Yeah,
Yeah, so next week we're going to do Damnation, and then after that we'll come back for the thrilling conclusion of Resident Evil Final Chapter.
you say
Uh,
thrilling like it's actually thrilling.
oh, it's thrilling. So yeah, thanks for joining me, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having me and making me suffer through all these movies, which I hadn't seen
Yes.
up to this point.
Well, I can't wait for you to see the Netflix series.
God,
Bye, everybody.
bye.